Hey, Backyard Bend. Welcome to another featured video. A couple weeks back, we got to go and hang out at the Cascade Chute Out from the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. All made possible by our good friends at the Northwest Community Credit Union. And before I start teasing you too hard on what we got coming up, quick high fives out to Central Oregon Ranch Supply, as well the new SCP Hotel Redmond. Because without them kind of holding our hand out there, we would not have been able to offer you this. A little bit of Rodeo 101 with Bridwell Pro Rodeos. So we're gonna drop that on you when we come back.
What is steer roping and where did it come from? Steer roping is one of the original rodeo events that derived from the long, tall, weeded areas out in the bushy Oklahoma grasslands. It was necessary for ranchers to have steer roping available to doctor and properly care for their animals. They'd need to rope the steers, oftentimes alone, tie them down and vaccinate and care for them properly in acres and acres of lands. Steer roping mimics our original ranching technique of finding an animal that has left a herd that has gone off and oftentimes isn't feeling well. The steer is then roped, laid down, legs are gathered and tied, and proper doctoring techniques take place. Steer roping, team roping, and calf roping are all modern-day rodeo events that are still used on working ranches today across the United States. Of all the events, these three are still necessary to care for our animals and to properly tend to them when facilities are far, far away on large acres and cattle are so massive in amounts that we can't get them to those facilities in a timely fashion. And last but definitely not least, we've adapted the tie-down roping to include the women's event of breakaway. Breakaway roping is where the ladies back into the box, they rope the calf, time is called when the rope goes around the neck and it breaks away from the horn of their saddle. These three ranching events now in modern rodeo are based on time. The cowboy with the fastest hands, the best rope, and the best horse takes all the money home. What is steer wrestling and where did steer wrestling come from? Steer wrestling actually was developed by the 101 Ranch as part of the Wild West show in Ponca City, Oklahoma. It was done by an African-American cowboy by the name of Bill Pickett. He would slide off his horse and tackle a longhorn steer and take it to the ground. And that is where steer wrestling was born. What is barrel racing and where did barrel racing come from? Barrel racing came from a trick rider who was wanting to show off her horsemanship skills. She raced her horse around 3 barrels and thus was born barrel racing. Today, modern rodeos have women riding horses that are high-powered and athletic and need to go fast. The fastest one wins in the barrel racing as they go around a cloverleaf pattern. Bull riding and what is bull riding? Bull riding is America's extreme sport. Originally done on Brahma bulls out in the middle of the pastures, bull riding today is now a sport that is paired between cowboy and animal. Bull riding is judged by 2 judges with 1 to 50 points on each side for total combined scores up to 100 points. It's only been done one time, but look for bull riding and all the excitement it brings. We've touched on the other events, but we have bareback and saddle bronc of the horse riding events left. 2 of our rough stock events, judged much like the bull riding with 1 to 50 points on either side by 2 judges, the bareback and the bronc riding still comes from the ranches of long ago, when riders would pair their horses to see which bronc couldn't be rode and which cowboy couldn't be thrown. For all three of our rough stock events, the bareback riding, the saddle bronc riding, and the bull riding, our riders ride for 8 seconds. Their scores are based on how well they perform in those 8 seconds.
Well, there you have it. Rodeo events in about 3 minutes, or Rodeo 101, here on Backyard Bend.